Are we officially seeing the end of Ubisoft? I don't know. We possibly could be. With big news that Tencent of all people and the Guillemot family are reportedly considering taking Ubisoft private. It's been a wild week of speculations, rumors, official reporting from even Bloomberg, and a lot of people wondering what is going to happen to this once, back a long time ago, this once beloved publisher, essentially, right? Say what you will about them now, but back in the day, when it came to the very first few Assassin's Creed games, a Splinter Cell, all those other games and everything, people actually really liked Ubisoft. What? Especially when you talked about games like Prince of Persia even, and with the remake of that potential game, unfortunately stuck in limbo right now, but when it was originally announced, a lot of people were super happy and everything because they've got some good IPs. But it's clear that things like the leadership of Ubisoft, the staleness of a lot of their games, heck, anytime an open world game comes out that has anything to do with towers or anything with markers on them, there was like, wow, you guys Ubisoft the heck out of that game. It's literally talked about in every open world game unless you're like Soulsborne. Is very weird, at least in my personal opinion, when I see something like Tencent, who is known for mobile games and monetizing out of the ass when it comes to some of those games, to want to take Ubisoft private. Because if you have been watching anything with like stock values or seen anything in terms of Twitter news and everything about how prices in their shares are dropping to nearly 11-year lowest points and everything, it's no secret that a lot of people, I think, are kind of rooting for this to happen to Ubisoft. And Ubisoft has always been in an interesting position because while they are public at this particular time, they actually have like the most employees out of the kind of like what you'd call the third party publishers. They have more people than EA do. They have more people than Take-Two do. And I think you can make an argument that those particular companies do better than Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft, I think, has like 20,000 employees across the world or something like that. And in terms of the money that they're bringing in right now, most of their money is being brought in by games like Rainbow Six Siege and other games like the Assassin's Creed franchise. I know Valhalla sold really well because it sold during the pandemic and everything. And plus, they just flooded that game with microtransactions and everything. But recently, especially in 2024, when you see games like Star Wars Outlaws not doing very well, it only sold like 1 million copies. And for the Star Wars brand franchise stuff with Ubisoft open world, like that's pretty bad. Say what you will, right? And then we have seen that Shadows now, AC Shadows has gotten delayed, which is not very good for them because they're missing that holiday timeline. And now they've placed it next to Monster Hunter of all games. That will be very interesting to see what happens with that particular game. It's not looking the best for them. And even when they have good games, like their early release in January of 2024 with the Prince of Persia Lost Crown, which is an amazing game. And I have my issues with Ubisoft, but damn, Prince of Persia Lost Crown, go buy it, people. It is a great game. Absolutely 100% worth it. It is absolutely, you see any reviews out there, they all say the same thing. But unfortunately, it's just overshadowed by all the negativity, who Ubisoft is, their name simply being attached to it. That's the unfortunate downside right there. Heck, they just literally got story DLC for that game, which is awesome. And it's like $5, which is great. I still got to play it. But regardless.
Ubisoft's a weird company because if you look at their Wikipedia page, this is not even the first time there's been threats of someone doing a hostile takeover. As a company, they seem very poorly managed. As a gamer, I shouldn't say gamer, it's a 4-letter word at this point. As a fan of video games and as a fan of Ubisoft games, Assassin's Creed, recent Rayman games were great. You can't go wrong with Tom Clancy. Far Cry, love me some Far Cry. I wish nothing but the best for them, but they have been on a bit of a bad streak. So I would like them to do well, but I feel like this is not unusual territory for them because they're constantly fighting people off with sticks. Like Vivendi is a company that they had to fight off with a stick, and they've successfully did fight them off with a stick, a very large stick, hopefully, that they still have to fight off Tencent. But I do say, this is putting on my tinfoil hat.
Oh, we always love a good tinfoil hat theory here.
I love me some tinfoil hats. I love putting them on my head and saying crazy stuff.
Well, let's hear it.
It is very conspicuous as to the timing of all this in terms of roughly around that time, people are like, yeah, there's some issues at Ubisoft right now in terms of management. And all of a sudden the floodgate opened up and now everyone's talking about how all these issues. And then Tencent all of a sudden pops up and they're trying to say, hey, why don't you go start selling? Why I want to buy some of your shares. I want to buy out Ubisoft. And the Guillermo family like, yo, get bent. And so the timing of all this seems very suspect. It seems very much like someone's kind of pulling some strings to get Ubisoft's shares to go just low enough so it's more feasible for them to buy them out. I don't know if that would be Tencent doing that or if there's some other company pushing this that they're going to try to swoop in. Maybe it's Microsoft. Maybe Phil Spencer is playing the game there. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Microsoft would give him another cent for acquisitions after buying Activision and everything. But there are some people thinking that Embracer. Embracer. Yeah, people think Embracer for some reason is going to do that, and I'm just like, okay. Really? You think?
Yeah. After they had arguably one of the shittiest years of their whole company.
Right.
After having to literally kill off studios to keep afloat. I really don't hope Embracer's trying to get in on this shit.
Oh God,
I would not put it past them because that's kind of
exactly that's kind of the thing, right? Like I personally don't want them to, but holy crap, yeah, I could easily see.
They just need to embrace more studios. That's in the name. They embrace the studios.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, I'm disappointed by this news because I mean I don't want it to be doom and gloom all the time. I try not to be, but I kind of tend to be that. We are in a bit of a quote unquote video game downturn. I wouldn't say recession yet, but things are not looking good for AAA games, much less quadruple A games.
Oh yeah, gotta remember that first quadruple A game, guys, that Ubisoft and only Ubisoft can give you the satisfaction of being able to play.
Only Ubisoft can give us quad triple A game. Sorry, quad A games. It doesn't even make sense in my mouth. That's how it's so hard for me to say.
And
I don't know.
And I don't want to, and whether it's on this video, if you guys want to talk about it in the comments, I can't stop you, but we're not going to get into the whole aspect of what is going on with Shadows in terms of, putting a black samurai in the game or anything like that. Or, just like, yeah, Ubisoft is definitely taking some liberties with some of that stuff. But then again, this is Assassin's Creed where you killed the Pope. So
yeah,
it's just like,
if you played Assassin's Creed and thought, man, this game's super realistic. The first goddamn game, what? The guy literally, oh my God, yeah, they're not realistic. Ezio never met fucking anyone in any of his 3 games. He did not shape Renaissance. Well, yeah, but like Da Vinci was not his chum because Ezio doesn't exist, and Da Vinci didn't make Assassin's Creed. Weapons and stuff.
Or the glider, so you fly around and infiltrate the Pope's hangout.
I was bummed out when I heard of all that stuff. I won't go anything more into that, but I think it was a bit of a bummer here.
Right. I think the thing when it comes to the recent games, especially over the years when it comes to Ubisoft stuff, is that I don't think people would have a problem with, God forbid, a Black Samurai or a story over in Japan for Assassin's Creed, because people have wanted that for a long time, especially with the story over in Japan and everything. It's just the fact that I think people have been conditioned over the years that these games are just average, essentially. And so you're more likely to not be as hopeful when they announce these particular games and everything like that. And I think especially with Shadows, Ubisoft has been very trying to defend themselves, but then also put all these random statements out about historical accuracy and everything, when it's just honestly, you should have just announced the game and then you just said, look, we're taking some creative liberties with a person who is from the historical records. There was a guy in Japan like that, just we obviously don't know much about him. I mean, he's been portrayed in anime and other forms of media and everything like that, books, you name it. If they literally just came out and said, look, we're gonna be taking some creative liberties with this. We hope you enjoy. We're gonna make a good story for you. You know, obviously you don't want to spoil anything, but maybe get some ideas about some talking points about the story, and then just go from there. Buckle down, make a good game. I don't think you see as much blowback. I really don't think you would.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is the way it is. So you know what? And it's also unfortunate that an Ubisoft game where you're just like, you know what? I'll wait for it to be on sale in a month after it releases and everything. Right? That's why I didn't buy Star Wars. It's going to be on that Black Friday sale, and that's just the way it is, right? And for people wondering why I'm not freaking out more online and everything, it's like I would rather focus on games that I want to play and enjoy or have caught my attention and everything like that, right? The moment all this crazy Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Shadow stuff started popping up online and everything, I was just like, okay, I'm going to go look at, you know, Final Fantasy news and everything, or I'm going to look at Metaphor, or I'm going to look at literally anything, the finals, season 4, because there's a lot of players come back to the finals now, which by the way, check it out. Finals is awesome. It's free to play. You should play it. And so I'd rather just go check that stuff out. I'm not going to focus on this huge negativity with what's going on with them. If the game comes out and it's good, great. I'll do my research as I always do, see the reviews, but I don't need to focus solely on the negativity and everything like that, which I know gets clicks and views and everything like that, but I would still rather play good games. If a game is good, I don't care who's in it, what's in it, blue alien, black dude, I don't care. So as long as the story is good, because I like a good story, and the gameplay is fun, that's all I care about. Literally all I do. So I know, hot take, right? I know this is a hot take right there. What am I doing? Not a real gamer. I know. It's weird because I do see people saying like, I really hope Ubisoft is like just, you know, demolished and everything.
Why
is my question. I would think people would want them to get better, to then take those franchises and games that have been ignored and innovate and make new games, whether it's in those franchises or make new games or anything like that. We shouldn't want things to just completely fall apart and die and everything. It's like when you see the people hoping that Xbox finally kicks the can and is not giving competition to Sony. Why would you want that? I do not want that.
We are already seeing the ramifications of Microsoft fucking around.
Exactly. We have seen that already in real time. We are the ones
finding out. Microsoft's not finding out. We're finding out before Microsoft finds out.
Exactly.
The PS5 Pro is a literal that is a literal ramification.
Yeah.
The PS5 and how it's being rolled out without a disk drive at its price point is a ramification of Microsoft fucking around. We are the ones finding out, Tallen.
Oh, I know.
Microsoft
Dude, no. Microsoft is so far behind. They're so far behind. They're still asking people, why aren't you putting our games on our platform? Why are you putting them on PlayStation only? Like they're literally asking that. I'm just like,
cringe.
What are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you?
Why aren't you guys putting games on the platform?
Oh, it's oh my god! Every time I see that,
that was I think a week detached from that post, like a story for, I think I heard on Spawnwave, but about this developer who is trying their damnedest to get their game out on Xbox. And what happened? Xbox, management or whoever deals with certifying never got back to them. They're literally in limbo. They can't release the game because Microsoft did not get back to them saying if the game was good or bad.
And it was only after all of the backlash online and everyone tagging Microsoft that they finally got in contact with them. But it still delays it. It still delays it though.
But Tallen, why aren't they putting games on Xbox?
I don't know, man. Clearly, I don't know. I really just don't know. Maybe it could be the sales, I mean, call it a meme, call it whatever you want. There's a reason that meme has stuck around of, well, Xbox players just don't buy games. So,
I'm one of them. I don't buy games on my Xbox. I buy them on PlayStation.
There you go. Microsoft, there's your research done and done. Lemon just gave you free research right there. Now get your shit together, essentially. Anyway,
I literally bought an Xbox for Game Pass, and that Game Pass went to shit. I'm not going to play my Xbox anymore.
Exactly. Again, we're seeing that in real time when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, and it's like, why would you want Ubisoft to just die, right? Wouldn't you want them to get better so that they can provide competition to the others, to then them make better games? Like, that's what we should want. That's what we should want from all this. So hopefully things will turn around for Ubisoft. I mean, obviously the big hope is that they get rid of leadership and they bring people on that will actually do good things. But as we've seen throughout most of the gaming space, that doesn't happen most of the time because they're just caught up in big money and, you know, executives wanting the safe route of live service games. And it's, things are going to get worse before they get better. It's just the way I'm going to put it. We'll have to wait to see what's going to happen.